So we now have a very special guest. We have Angel Ludwig, who's been in the Living Abundance Mastermind for I think about the last 7 or 8 months. And she has kindly agreed to come and join us and share her beautiful story, transitioning into this beautiful ways of working. So darling Angel, if you can unmute yourself. I'll say hello. I'm going to introduce you. Thank you so much. Lovely. So Angel is an organizational development professional with a focus on conscious business culture. She's the co-founder of Gate Limited, an organizational design firm passionate about thriving and sustainable work environments. She's educated in naturopathic medicine from Clayton College of Natural Health. Angel takes a holistic, mindful approach to business, consulting and coaching. Angel also hosts connection circles with women who are passionate about soul-centered living and stranger tables where she invites small groups of amazing souls who do not know each other together for great food and deep end conversations. And personally, Angel likes to stay active with her family. She's got 4 kids and has recently discovered that she loves to write fiction. Super. Welcome, darling Angel. Lovely to have you here.
Yeah, nice to be here.
Oh, so lovely. I'm so excited for you to share your story. All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions, my darling. And I wonder if we can kind of cast back to where you were at before you joined the mastermind. What was going on in your life and your work at that time?
So, I mean, we all have experienced COVID, right? And COVID was like a massive stripping away, I mean, of us, all of us, but then me personally. And I was left with my, I would say, awareness that my internal nerves were raw and I didn't know what to do with it. I knew that changes needed to happen, but I was at the end of my ability and limit to do that on my own or with the resources that I had previously in my life. So I was ticking along, but I knew it was on a timeline.
Yeah, okay. And you've been in business at that time, right? But you felt that you couldn't continue as business.
I needed to shift.
Yeah. So, and then when we met, and I know you were in the retreat back last year, what was kind of going through your head at this point? There's some people who are at that stage right now, kind of,
Yeah.
what was going on through your head at that time when you were considering coming in?
Honestly, the wealth retreat was such a beautiful grounding process for me, and it resonated so much with me that I was like, how can I do more of this? um, it was it was aligning. You said things that I didn't know I needed to hear, and I wrote some down that you said this morning. The safety and support that you bring in and the rootedness that you add to it, and then turning us back to ourselves as a guide, started the week of the wealth retreat, and I knew I wanted more of that.
Cool. I'm so glad you chose more of it. You've had some pretty cool. I mean, I got a message, some of the results, and I was like, honestly, like it just could make me kind of cry. It brings me so much joy because I know it's like the trust, like that leap of faith it takes to start doing this. And so we really want to celebrate now. You've been in this space for a number of months, but could you share some of the results that you've experienced in your work and I think most importantly, how you're working as well?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely giving me more access to myself and more of an awareness and a trust internally to trust my intuition. And part of that was before in my life, whenever I would get to, or if I would get an idea, I would go into hustle mode. I would go into striving mode. I would go into like that masculine energy side, of strive, but I didn't have the balance with the feminine energy of like feeling into it and the softness. And I just realized that I needed more of the um, settling in to my life. Do you want me to go all the way into what happened? Do you want me to
Thank
dive
you for
deep?
sharing. Yeah, I love diving deep.
Um,
So yes, please.
so I think I did the wealth retreat in May,
Yeah.
and at the end of May, and one of the sessions, you said call in what you want to call in, and so I just wrote what I wanted, and I wrote that I wanted to do it from non-hustle, from a place of just being on the things that I have already created, that I just wanted to see them grow. And so that's really what I focused on. And I put, then put numbers and a time frame around it. And it happened plus some. So I wrote that I wanted to have, just from this one client, I wanted to have 10,000 a month from me just showing up. No hustle, no marketing, no nothing, just me just showing up, just being who I was, blossoming what I've already planted. And then in 6 months, I wanted that to grow more. And that happened in dividends. Within 3 months, actually, I had 7,500 a month, and then it went to 10,000 a month, then extra projects, and then now it's 12,500 a month that I'm getting just from this one client showing up. I work 4 to 6 hours a week for that client. So easy, just who I am, just showing up, all because Laura's like, call it in. But Lara, I have to tell you something else that you don't know about. You said in the Wealth Retreat that if we signed up for Mastermind, it would happen like to the people that are in our spaces with us. And I have a strange situation. I live with the father of my children, but we're roommates. We're not together anymore. He's my ex-husband. He's been doing some of this stuff as I've been sharing it with him. And this week he got approval for $30,000 of contracts that he put out. Whoa. And so he 100% says, he told me this morning, thank Lara, please thank Lara for me.
Oh my God.
But he's been rooting and grounding and doing this work. And so it's just been amazing how timely it has been for him individually, for me individually, and then for the results for our family. So
just beautiful, so beautiful. And I know there's more projects coming in and things are happening, but how extraordinary, right? Almost like when you drop the hustle, right? And it's like, that's when I talk about manifesting money from ease and flow. It doesn't mean you built, you've done work to build and get foundations in place, right? And then it's like how we're showing up in what we've built and in, who you are. And interesting. I mean, do you feel like I know this is where we're going kind of more deep, but do you feel like sharing, like, what do you feel had to shift? Like, what was like the belief or the mindset that you had to shift into this flow where you're actually making more money from being you?
So I think what needed to shift was, I wrote down the number one thing I have gained so far is visibility, trusting who and what I am at my core. Like, you turn us back and have us have conversations with ourselves and trust that. And so it was the recognition that who we are is already powerful. It's already within us. And so what does that look like in tangible terms? And so really for me, the visibility piece, the not hiding piece, has been really, really significant.
Yeah, amazing. And you've been very brave, because it's scary, isn't it, bringing that stuff out, especially when we've had past wounding and pain or trauma from being you, right? Because that's why we've hidden it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I tried to be me. That didn't go well.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I just think it's beautiful and amazing. And you've been very brave. And I will say you've been showing up. You've been showing up, doing the work, and trusting the process. And sometimes it gets that place, like you said, with COVID and everything, where you almost don't have a choice. Like, it's like we can't continue. And some of us had to really make big changes. The pandemic, for example. And it's like, all right, okay. It's like going through that death process. And how beautiful to watch these new shoots. So it's a real moment to celebrate, and I'm so happy for you. I know the work continues, of course, the journey continues, and this is just the beginning of you blossoming into this next level. I'm just wondering if you can share a little bit. You maybe shared a bit already, but like, just for people considering the space, right? We're sensitive and not sure. How would you describe kind of what it's been like working with me and working with other women in this space, would you say?
So it's been illuminating and easy. It's been a delight. I've traveled, but I've never had consistent conversations with people from all over the world either. And so that has just been really, really grounding as well. I think all the women that show up are there to do alignment. And so you can just feel it. But it's been transformative. That's the number one thing. It's been transformative. I look forward to it every single week. I have to say that who I am now compared to who I was when I started is different, and it is because of the practices, the consistent practices and the consistent guidance.
That's so
But
beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
The time is a precious resource, to come and share with us and tell your story. And I'm so like deeply, deeply delighted for you. And I think that's one of the things I think I said already, but it's just so wonderful to celebrate, celebrate women being successful, and it's a safe place to be celebrated. And
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things with women, we feel like we need to shrink ourselves or hide ourselves. We don't want to trigger or make people jealous, but actually we can be like, oh my God, your success is my success, and together we rise, together we thrive. So thank you, my darling. I so appreciate it. Thanks for being here.